Pigeon. In the past, pigeon helped people to carry news from the beginning to the terminal.
The experiment with a phonograph. On June 2, 1875, Thomas Watson, his assistant, accidentally plugged one of the leads. This led to the ground sound-powered telephone. It could transmit in the string voice-like sound but not clear speech. On March 10, 1876, Alexander Graham Bell led the telephone era with the first bidirectional electric transmission of spoken word.
Rotary dial. A rotary dial is a component of a telephone or telephone switchboard that implements a signaling technology in a telecommunications, known as pulse dialing. It is used when initiating a telephone call to transmit the destination telephone number to a telephone exchange. A rotary dial typically features in circular construction.
The tape answering machines record and replay sound using a technique originally invented in 1898 by Valdemar Poulsen. It was the first practical device used for recording telephone conversation. Poulsen devised no other telegraph phone or wire recorders, laid the foundations of inventions of answering machines used today. The creation of the first practical automatic answering device for telephone is in dispute. Karen Hicksman worked for Bell Laboratories from 1930, where he developed methods for the magnetic records and working on the recognition of speed patterns and electromagnetical switching system. In 1934, he developed a tape based on answering machines with the phone company AT&T. As the owners of Bell Laboratories kept on the wrath for years for fear that answering machines would result in fewer telephone calls. Many claimed it was William Muller's in 1935, but it could have been created already in 1931 by William Surgeons. This device used phonographic cylinders, flatweight gliders promoted telephones answering machines in 1929. Based on his bladder phone magnetic recording technology. On the two cassettes answer phone, that is an outgoing cassette, usually a special endless loop tape on earlier machines, which after a certain phone of rings play a pre-recorder's message to the callers who rang the numbers. Once the message is complete, the outgoing cassette stops and the incoming cassette starts recording the caller's message, and then stop when the caller hangs up. Single cassette answering machines contain the outgoing message at the beginning of the tape and the incoming message of the remaining space. They first play the announcements, then fast forward to the next available space for recordings, then records the caller's message. If there are many previous messages, fast forwarding through them can cause a significant delay.
A cordless telephone or portable telephone replaces the handset cord with a radio link. The base station or subscriber premise is what differentiates a cordless telephone from a mobile telephone. Current cordless telephone standards such as PHS and DECT have blurred the once clear-cut line between cordless and mobile telephones by implementing cell handoff or handover, whereas advanced features such as data transfer and even on a limited scale, international roaming. In specialized models, base stations are maintained by a commercial mobile network operator and users subscribe to the service. Unlike a corded telephone, a cordless telephone needs mains electricity to power the base station. The cordless handset is powered by a rechargeable battery, which is charged when the handset is stored in its cradle. History. A jazz musician named Terry Paul had ideas on a version of the cordless phone in 1965, but could not market. In 1968, she sold her rights to the cordless phone to a manufacturer who defined it for practical use. Performance. in the early 21st century are digital. Digital technology, which has helped provide clear sound and limit eavesdropping. Many of them are cordless phones that have one main base station and can add up to 3 or 4 additional bases. This allows for multiple voice channels that allow 3-way conference calls between the bases. This technology also allows multiple handsets to be used at the same time, and up to 2 handsets can have separate conversations with outside parties. Manufacturers usually advertise that the higher frequency systems improve audio quality and range. Practical influences on quality and range are signal strength, antenna quality, the method of modulation used, and interference, which varies locally. Security. Many analog phone signals are easily picked up by radio scanners, allowing anyone within range to listen in on conversations. Though many such analog models are still produced, modern digital technology is available to reduce the risk of eavesdropping with higher frequency. The digital nature of the signal includes its tolerance to noise, and some systems even encrypt the digital signal for additional security.
Today, technology in the world is very developed, so they have many interesting smartphones. Smartphone, iPhone and Android. When the iPhone was introduced in 2007, Apple brought the smartphone to the masses with its intuitive touchscreen, intelligent sensors, and sleek design. The iPhone has been an incredible success. The iPhone quickly showed just how clunky previous smartphone and flip phone were. While initially lacking some basic features, such as copy and paste, the iPhone has consistently improved with annual updates to both its hardware and software, and runs a mobile-optimized version of OS X, the company's desktop computing operating system. Then, a year later, the Android juggernaut will begin its climb to the top. Founded in 2003 by Andy Rubin, Android sought to create a modern operating system that would compete with Windows Mobile, Symbian, and BlackBerry. Google brought Android in 2005 and in November 2007 unveiled the Android operating system. The first Android phone, the HTC Dream, was launched almost a year later in October 2008. Android has adapted to its competition, developing an app-based operating system for touchscreens. Android has substantially improved since its clunky early days and is now the leading alternative to Apple.
If you want to buy a new mobile phone, what do you expect it to be? Well, I personally have a smartphone right now, so if I want a new mobile phone, I would also want it to be a smartphone. First, I want it to be able to keep data, storage memory, something like that. And secondly, I guess something that is capable of using internet, because nowadays there's Wi-Fi everywhere. You can access information everywhere you want. Only if your mobile phone have capability of connecting to the internet. So I would choose smartphones that have internet and great storage capacity.
If I was gonna buy a new phone, then I would probably get definitely a smartphone, just because I like a touchscreen phone with all the cool applications to help me in my daily life. The more applications to help me, the easier my day is. So I use my applications a lot to do many things.
I prefer a smartphone, so there are enough storage for applications that are essential to me. Or it's can connect to the internet. That's what I expected it to be.
Do you think mobile phone is now increasingly becoming the communication tool that highly influences you on your daily life? Well, I would say yes. Mobile phone has become increasingly influential in my daily life. It has taken part in my lifestyle as first. The first thing I think of is alarm clock, and my mobile phone can be an alarm clock. Second, I usually call my mom, so it's a communication thing that I use to communicate with other people that is not close to me. And then third, I usually use the internet with it. So 3 things that is connected to your daily life with your phone. I think that's a pretty influential thing in your life, and I do think that mobile phone in the future would be even more important to your life than nowadays.
Yeah, I think phones influence people's daily lives like all the time. You just go on the BTS and everybody is using their phone like all the time, and they forget that a person is sitting next to them. They can just have a conversation, but they choose just to talk online or on Facebook. So yeah, I think it's definitely influencing people's lives.
Do you think it's a better choice to have a new model of mobile that need no electricity? I mean, only sunlight or any sources of light can make the phone continuously functioning. I guess it's a good idea that you are trying to use alternative energy source, but I think right now electricity is the best source for energy. Why? If you use sunlight, you have to go out and recharge every about 10 or something from 3 to 8 hours a day. And when you charge your phone, you have to put it in the sunlight and for the solar cells to absorb energy and transfer it into an energy the mobile phone could use. Whereas electricity, smartphone nowadays, you can just go to an electricity pocket or just plug it in, and then the power would be restored in just less than an hour. But it's a good idea though, but I think it wouldn't be as successful as to its cost. It would be extremely expensive, much more expensive than electric running mobile phones, and that is why I say it would be a good idea, but not as successful.
It's a very interesting question. If we had solar-powered phones, yeah, that would be amazing, you know. Just like if we could have solar power, anything that the world run on a natural source of energy that would stop the pollution and make the environment a better place to live. So that would be incredible, but I don't know if that would work.
Do you think a mobile phone becomes highly significant on your daily living? Are you attached to it? I would say that mobile phone is already so significant in my life as to what my activities are related to it. I do everything with my phone. I bring my phone everywhere. I come to school, I have my phone on me in case I need to use some internet, or call my mom, call other people, or just use it for waking me up in the morning as an alarm clock. And it is really important in my life right now because it's not only just a machine that helps you communicate with other people, but I guess I can call it a friend. Whenever I'm alone, I usually stay with my phone, which I know sometimes is a good thing. Too much is a bad thing, but I'm trying to get into the middle of it. I'm trying to use it sometime and then have a break for it. And I'm trying to balance it out so it would still be a great thing for me to have a friend on my phone. Yes, it is really significant in my daily living, But am I attached to it? I would say I'm not. Even though I use it a lot, I can control myself to use it whenever I want or whenever I don't need it. When I do homework, I try not to touch my phone, and I'm doing very well on it, I kind of guess. But yeah, I can control myself, so I'd say I'm not at all attached to it. But if I have it,
me personally, no. I use my phone very little. I actually only bought a smartphone for the first time ever last year. But now I have a smartphone for the first time. I do enjoy using it, but I'm not like my girlfriend. My girlfriend uses it all the time. She has like the new iPhone, as well. My phone, it's just like a Nokia. It's really bad. It's not so good.